representatives, whether you voted for them or not, or your neighbor voted for them or not, you're paying their salaries and they're there to represent you and your interests. So you have to keep that in mind, because if they're not following through and representing their constituents, they're going to lose their job. So just keep that in mind. If you're first, I know there's some newbies in here, but if you're just starting out, I mean, don't feel intimidated to go in and talk with these folks and tell them your needs, your constituent.
Well, even more so on that. A lot of times your first meeting, no matter what, I mean, if you get lucky, you talk to a congressperson. Getting a senator in a first meeting is a rarity, depending upon who you're representing and everything. But getting a congressperson even in your first meeting, it'll only be if they have to have a few minutes and they stop at your meeting. You're talking to a legislative aide.
Right.
Legislative aides are paid to talk to you. That's what they spend a good half of their day doing, is listening to constituents. And what they want you to leave is feeling warm and fuzzy about their boss. So not only is it a very easy thing to do because it's just a conversation, you actually have somebody who's there who's paid to make the conversation comfortable for you. And that can be dangerous, because one of the ways they make you feel comfortable is make you think they said yes when they said no, or make you think something might happen when it's not going to. And that's some of the things we can maybe talk about a little this morning too, is how that conversation goes. But don't feel uncomfortable about it, because they want you happy. They don't want to fight with you. They don't want to argue with you. They want you to leave there feeling that their boss has your back.
So, the most important thing that I think that you can be thinking about is you're having any type of conversation with a politician, and this goes for either you, your staff, or the individuals who you work with within the community, is that you're a constituent. And I think that's got to be sort of a fundamental basis for the communication that you have, either at the council level, the mayoral level, state level, or beyond. That's the linkage that I think opens the door, as opposed to I'm from Mars and I want to tell you something that's good for your community. Politicians have to talk to their constituents, and if they ignore their constituents enough, bad things begin to happen to them. So I think that's the first rule to really think about. As an example of this, in Wisconsin, the chief Democratic author of the statewide franchising legislation, a guy named Jeff Plaley, who's a South Milwaukee AT&T Democrat. So AT&T basically has a close relationship with the Democratic Party in Wisconsin. Finally was lost a primary election to the Democratic Party because of about a 10-year span of saying one thing to union constituencies, saying another thing to grassroots constituencies in his district, and then voting a different way. Okay, and enough constituents over the course of about a 10-year period of time were burned by the guy that he lost the primary battle, or actually he had competition from within the Democratic Party finally, from somebody who just couldn't take it anymore because of the duplicitous nature of his dealing. So I mean, there is